Okay guys, the time has finally come. Today is November 2nd. I just picked up the starter. I just got back and bolted it on. That means this engine is complete and ready to put in the tractor. We do have to put the engine cradle mounts on the block first, and then we will be putting it in the tractor. So we are going to go ahead and get right to that because I want to be able to get this tractor running and out of here by the end of the week. So hopefully you guys are seeing this very soon. I am super excited to finally have this tractor back together. So let's get right into it. When the engine either does or does not go crashing on the ground. Again, this is the wrong way to do this. Don't try this at home. All right, the engine's sitting in here and lined up. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a better view than standing over here in the stand looking. So here's what we have. I did go ahead and while I was sliding the engine in, and I don't know if the camera caught it or not, but I put the PTO linkage together here. All you do is take this piece here, it clips down on here. It's under pressure right now, so it won't come off very easily. But it'll be a separate piece, this piece here that's not painted. You slide it over the ear, which is this right here that you see. That is the actuator arm. Slide it over that, put the pin link through, and then just clip this down on the pin, or on the linkage. And there you go. Other than that, I have done nothing that I didn't show. We're almost lined up in some of the holes. I only have 3 bolts, which is odd. I'm not sure where the 4th went. I'll have to find it. One of them could have been missing. I don't remember. This project's been quite a while in the making. But I need to get going and make supper. So yeah, I'm going to let this sit like this for a while, and we'll get back to it maybe tonight or tomorrow. I need to make the wire that goes from the coil on the positive to the wiring harness of the tractor. I need to make a short wire to go from this wire to the voltage regulator, and then this is just the lights, which I'll just set up in here somewhere so that I can access it later when I'm ready to do the lights. After I do that wiring stuff, I can start bolting this down. This will go right here and mount the pump in it. And yeah, then we're about done. I forgot to put the oil pan on it, you know. Just kidding, we put a new one on it. That was bent, so we used another one. Now we will get full oil capacity. Once the engine's done being bolted in, plugged in, everything, I'll run the throttle and choke cables. I can start mounting other things on it. One thing I do need to do before I actually bolt the engine down is put the mule drive on. It goes right here. So yeah, I need to put this out here so I can remember it. There we go. Maybe I can remember it now. I got in a groove and didn't even ever film, so I apologize. Didn't get much done though. Nothing that is super interesting. I made these 2 wires, one for the coil, one for the voltage regulator. Got those wired up. I'm going to ignore the lights for now. The engine's bolted down. Mule drive is on. Pump is bolted up. These bolts are not completely tight yet because I got to get the belt on and adjust that yet. But once I get the fuel line hooked up to the pump and put the battery tray in it and whatnot, we should be getting to be about ready to fire up. It's getting kind of cold out here. It was like 44 when I came out, and it's gotten dark since then. So I'm going to call it a night, but that's what I've gotten done without you. Again, I apologize. I did not mean to get that far ahead of myself, but I set the camera in the stand and figured I would start doing something, and yeah, that's where I'm at. So I need to grab a new air filter for this tractor and put engine oil in it, obviously. Let's see here. Put the drive belt on. Put the belt on for the hydraulics. Battery tray in, battery in, and then we can fire this thing up. I do need to put oil also in the hydraulic reservoir. When I took it off, I drained it, and yeah, then we can fire it up. Make sure it runs good. We don't need to take anything back apart, and then I can put the uprights, hood, and grill and side screens on. So we'll get back to this probably tomorrow. It's supposed to be about 50 degrees. All right, I'm out here the next morning. I already put oil in it. I'm going to turn it by hand a little bit here and there as I'm working on it. But I'm going to put you guys in the stand, and I'm going to try and get a bunch more of this buttoned up and taken care of. or a nut you can't get to, what I did is just put this in there. Then it will hold the nut or bolt. You can adjust it to go deeper or shallower. Just a trick I've been using for a little while. I'm now sharing with you guys. Okay, we are back together enough to run. I got a battery. I have not hooked up this side yet, so I don't know if it's going to catch on fire or do nothing. Key switch is in. I've never turned on any power to this hour meter in the tractor or otherwise. This is what it's reading. Trying to switch between 1 and 2. 0.1 and 2, my bad. Choke and throttle's hooked up. Belt's on. I got oil in here in the hydraulics. I got oil in the engine. Make sure throttle works. Throttle works. Choke works. I have not put any gas in the tank yet. I would like to turn it over with the starter a little bit and get it starting to lubricate. I am going to put gas in the tank before I do that so that it can start priming the pump, but I'm not going to try to get it to start yet. So I am going to throw a little gas in the tank, then we'll hook up this battery and see if anything catches fire. And yeah, we ought to be able to start trying to crank on it and see what it does. I put a quarter tank of gas in it and turned on the valve on the tank. Let's hook this battery up and see if we catch on fire. I rewired it so it shouldn't. No arcing or sparking, it's not pulling power. Which is good, that's ideal, obviously. Okay, let's turn on the key and see if the hour meter starts going. I think that's tight enough to let it. The hour meter is ticking, meaning we have power where it needs to be currently so far. Find my 7/16 wrench and maybe snug this up a bit more. Alright, I snugged it a little bit. Let's tap the key and see if it turns over. Nope. We have no cranking. Well, that shouldn't be. We we got this thing rewired. Wonder if the starter doesn't have a ground. That could very well be. I'm going to check and see if the starter has a ground, and I'll bring you back. Okay, so it turns out that the battery's just dead. Which I guess I'm not allowed to be surprised. Has been sitting on a shelf for who knows how long. Okay, so you see, it says 11.72, turn on the key, and it goes down to 9 volt. Turn the key to start, 3 to 4 volts. Turn the key off, slowly comes back up. So I'm going to let this battery charge for a while. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the charger, and then we're going to try that again. Before I do that, I think I am going to go ahead and see if I have power to the starter. But yeah, otherwise I'll bring you back when this battery is charged. Okay guys, we're back for round 2. I did some testing, and I must have just had a bad ground right here, because when I scratched around on here and put a clamp on and hit the key, the starter kicked in. So let's find out if it will do the same. Battery didn't last very long. I'm just going to bring the charger right back here and stick it on the battery while I crank it, I think. Okay guys, sorry it's a little darker. I had to unplug the light to plug in the charger. Okay, we're going to go... Oh, it's going to try and charge it again. And then I think I'm just going to put it on boost. I don't like to do that because it's bad for batteries. But we're going to do it anyway. This battery might be shot. I might have to get another one. I'll keep tinkering around, and I guess I'll bring you back in a little bit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. It's been, well, let's see here. What is today? Today's Saturday. I've been charging this battery for the last 2 days. Let's see what it will do. Maybe let's take it out of gear for a minute. Oh yeah, toasty. Still got good oil, it's throwing it around, so we're good there. I am going to go ahead and plug this back in. I'm just going to go ahead and keep cranking on this a little bit at a time and try and get it primed up. I would like to get it perhaps started tonight. It's like 8 o'clock at night now. Saturday. I wanted to have this done by the end of the week, but this battery's really putting a damper on things, so we're going to see what we can do and try, but no promises. I'm going to go ahead and see about getting it primed up. I'll bring you back. Alright. I did not have spark. I was not getting the proper power from the points. So I have hopefully now fixed that. Let's see if we have spark now. And we do. So now this tractor ought to light off and run. Let's find out if it actually will. Give it a little throttle. Still doesn't quite want to go. Maintain a little throttle here. It wants to. I adjusted the idle circuit. I wonder if I have it too low. Let's try this. Woohoo! Definitely needs some adjusting. Throttle it down some. Half, one, half, two, half, quarter. So we have 2 3/4. But this jet is bent. I don't remember it being that way before. What do we got on high idle? Half, one, half, two, half. So half, one, half, two, half. Okay, so I replaced the bent jet with a new one, and I adjusted the carburetor. It was out of adjustment. You're supposed to have 2.5 and 3.5, and it was 2 3/4 and 2.5. So it was way over on one, or way under on one, and a little over on one. So we're going to try it now and see if it'll start and run. I need to do a carb rebuild on this. She wants to be stubborn. Come on, 216. Splashing oil around good though, so that's at least a happy situation. It will run, but that was full choke. It refused to run anything less than that. I'm going to go after 3 turns on the low idle. Didn't do anything for me. Put that back in its correct setting. Adjust that out a little bit. It's acting like we lost the spark again. Nope, we have spark. That means we're missing fuel. Because everything here is completely new. I really wanted to keep the original carb, but it is worn out, so I might just have to buy a new carburetor for this tractor and call it a day. Which technically would be the right thing to do anyway. I just don't like the Chinesium ones that you get nowadays. Try again. Yeah. It's unhappy about the whole situation. I think I'm going to pull the carburetor off of this thing and see if it is doing something I need to investigate, or if I should put a new carb on it. So I'll probably just do that off camera. I'll bring you guys back. Okay guys, I took the carburetor off. I went through it. I just cleaned it out and checked everything over. I didn't find any real issues. So we're going to try it again. It's adjusted back to the factory correct spec settings for the carburetor. Let's see if it wants to run now. That would be ideal. See here, I had to have it just a little choke. Sounds like I need to adjust the carb out a touch more. Let's go a quarter turn here and a quarter turn here. I'm trying not to let it backfire because it is a brand new engine. So I'm trying to keep it to behaving. If you wonder why I'm shutting it off when it starts acting like it might have problems. Oh boy, come on. Well, I'm going to order a new carb for this thing. This one is pretty well shot, so I'm just going to go ahead with a new one. But we do know it runs. So I will bring you guys back when I get a new carburetor. Okay, it's been a few days. I got my carburetor. It is a Chinesium carburetor. This is not the same, but it is correct. It'll work. One thing that I have learned to check, and of course it's metric, so we're going to do the right thing and get an adjustable hammer. I've had several that this is loose. Yep, this is one of them. Got to tighten up the bowl gasket. And then this is supposed to be 2.5 and 3.5 if I remember right. Let's count what they have it at. Half, 1, half, 2, half, 3. Yeah, see, that's too far. So start bottomed out, half, 1, half, 2, half. Same with this one. Let's count. Half, 1, half, not even 2, and it's supposed to be 3.5. So start from bottomed out. Half, 1, half, 2, half, 3, half. They never have it adjusted right, and usually they don't have the bottom tight. You'll put it on there and it'll leak. This one did come with stuffs. We got a new one of these arms, the whole setup, and of course naturally it came with the elbow, which it better have, because yeah, that's something you send with it. So let's snug this up. Needs to be pointing straight down. See if I can get me one more turn out of it. Keep it good and tight. Come on, a little more. There we go. That's good. Detent the choke works. Put that on. And that's Phillips. So let's go ahead and back this off. I always back it off till the flutterby is no longer against it. Then I'll go up to it and push it just the tiniest bit. You start to feel it move. Then you can adjust that once it's on the tractor and you have it running. Once you got it dialed in, you just throttle it all the way down, and if it won't stay running, throttle it up a little, turn this in to where you have it, push throttle all the way down and start turning this out and see where the engine is happy. So now that we have the carburetor ready, let's go ahead and put it on the tractor. Before I put it on, I'm going to show you guys one of the reasons that I'm replacing it. That jet should not move at all. I think what's happening, the reason it won't run at an idle, unless it's choked, is because that's loose enough that it's pulling air in around the jet. So it's getting too much air and not enough fuel, and by choking it, it is compensating for what the jet is doing. So I'm hoping by putting a brand new carburetor on it, we will eliminate that problem. So let's go ahead and throw it on there. All right. And then just throttle it up. Okay, so Choke's hooked up, throttle's hooked up, carb's bolted on. Got to hook up the fuel line, but first we're going to prime up the line going up to the carb and the carb itself, which should make it start easier. So I'm going to do that off camera and we'll get it trying to fire up. Okay, battery's hooked up, fuel system should be primed up, still full of engine oil. Let's see if it will pop off. Oh, okay. Adjust throttle. I need more battery juices. Come on, choke. Choke's getting locked up here. Okay, let's try again. This new carburetor is getting stuck. Okay. Let's go out, half turn on low idle. I'm going to look up the actual specs. I was trying to go off memory. Okay, well, I'm pretty confident that I figured out the issue this time. I was about to replace the fuel pump because there was nothing coming through it. But then I realized that there's a fuel shut-off in here, and I must have shut it off when I took this apart and completely forgot to turn it back on. So that's embarrassing. But now we have fuel to the pump. I turned the engine over and the pump is pumping. So yeah, I'm going to reset our adjustments and we're going to try and get this to fire up again. Let's see if it'll run now. Okay, adjusted the carb, let's try that again. It's almost 0.4 hours by the time we got it started. So we'll figure 0.3. Well, I think that's our cue to put everything back together. So I am going to put the airbox system on, the uprights, hood, battery clamp, side panels. We'll get the wheel weights on, sleeve hitch maybe, probably not yet. And this tractor will be done and wrapped up, and that will be either today or tomorrow. Today is Thursday, I think. Yeah, today's Thursday the 9th. So let's get this thing wrapped up and done. This time it actually will be done by the end of the week. And yeah. So we got a new carb. Didn't need it, but it's good to have. I would have put a new pump on it anyway, but like I said, probably in a previous video actually, all you can get now is the plastic ones, and they feel the need to put gas in the crankcase. So we're just going to keep using that one. It works good when it actually has fuel going to it. So yeah, I think we are done mechanically. Let's finish wrapping it up, put everything back together, and this project will be a wrap. Alright, well, this bottom one doesn't want to go, but I'm going to close the hood and see what it looks like. Nice. It's a pretty nice looking tractor, if I do say so myself. What do y'all think? I gotta throw the grill in, get this to do what it's supposed to, and we'll be ready to take this tractor out. Alright y'all, it's the next day. I've got the wheel weights on, grill in, finished this side panel. We are all done and ready to go. I started clearing a path. I'm going to get this thing fired up so it can warm up and move some of that stuff, and then we're taking this outside. Still full of engine oil, so let's get it fired up. Started it out. I'm going to let it warm up and I'm going to move some of this stuff. I'll bring you back in a minute. All right. Remove the fake ladybug. Let's go for a test drive. Let's run third. Alright, I had to adjust the carb. Let's try this again. Still doesn't sound like it's running right. Variant is not working. I welded it into high, I thought. It feels like it's in low. Running rich. Alright guys, that is going to be a wrap for the video. I appreciate you watching through this build. You will see this on the channel as we go along and I use it. But I hope you enjoyed it.